Hey, I'm not gonna lie. The other day when I was at work, I was just thinking about it. Harden is definitely not gonna be remembered next year.
Yeah, you're tripping, bro. Are you serious?
Why do you say I'm tripping though?
Like, he's so known right now. Like, he's gonna be remembered for sure.
Yes, he's known right now, but I feel like it's just because that's the present thing that's going on. He's in present time. He's one of the most dominant offensive scorers in present time. But I feel like later down the road, people aren't gonna remember like him as much.
He's definitely gonna be remembered because number one, he's like breaking records and he's going down in history in the Hall of Fame. He's an MVP player, and like, especially if he wins a chip this year, like it just keeps adding on to him.
No, that's the only. I feel like that's his only thing though. You know how many MVPs have been in the league? So like him just having an MVP is not gonna really stand for anything. And if they don't win, they don't win a chip. If he doesn't win a chip with the Nets, it's gonna be pretty tough.
Oh no, it's gonna look bad. Like then he will for sure be talked about. You feel me? Then he will sure be remembered, but as a bust. You feel me?
No, he's not gonna be talked about at all. He's just gonna be like okay, realistically, give me like by the average person, there's a slight chance 15, 20 years from now they might walk right past Harden and not even know who he is.
If he got the beard, like people are gonna know who he is. You feel me?
What is so special about? Okay, I understand the
That's
beard.
what he's known for.
But other than that, okay, we're talking about the average person. If you go up to the average person, this could literally be anyone walking down the street. Say you in the mall, walking down the mall. You know how people do the little random interviews. Say you do like a little random interview and you're asking people, who is James Harden? You think 15, 20 years from now, people are going to be like, who is James Harden? You think 9 out of 10 people are going to say yes?
I mean, if they have one athletic bone in their body, then yes, they're definitely gonna like know, bro. I'm telling you, he's going down in history. Cause like, even in 15, 20 years, if one of these people watches sports and like say the finals comes on, it's gonna be like a flashback or like a history. Like they're gonna see, oh, person just averaged 30 plus in games, you know, averaged 36 that 1 year. You see what I'm saying? Like he's gonna be like people watching sports and NBA, like how you see James Harden now, and then he's breaking all these records, and the people that are coming up are Kobe, Will, Jordan, all these players, right? So in the future, Harden's gonna be on those lists. You see what I'm saying? So no matter what, he's just gonna keep popping up.
I feel what you're saying, but like I feel like those are just lists. Because like realistically, right? You're probably not gonna see the list again until someone else breaks it or someone else is like up there within it, right? So most of the time when you see that, you're looking at the star player and then you're like, oh, that's a person. But like when it's 15, 20 years from now, you don't really know who all these people are.
Nah.
Like yes, you do, but you sort of kind of don't. Like you'd be like, oh, I've seen that name before, but you don't really know who it is like that. That's what I'm saying. People aren't gonna really know who he is. Like yes, he's gonna be someone who put up points, and maybe like if you're actually into basketball and you were into basketball like that, and you study later down the road, you were studying the past, our current time, then yeah, you might know who he is. But I feel like if he is remembered, he's gonna be remembered as a dominant scorer, and that's really it. Other than because there's nothing so crazy to his game other than him dominating offensively that will have him remembered, and he doesn't have a true signature. Like for a minute, I'm not gonna lie, that little cook up thing with the pot, he was sliding with
Known
the
for
little
his step back, like oh yeah, that little
but that's dead now. Like you cannot tell me that's not dead, Matt. Don't tell me that's not
dead because he doesn't do it no more. If he would have stayed with it, that's different. But he's known for the beard, and like you gotta acknowledge the people on those lists are Jordan, Kobe, and Will. Those people are gonna be remembered no matter what for the rest of till we're gone. You feel me? Like.
list of what?
Like offensive accomplishments and stuff. Those are the people that James Harden's up there with. See what I'm saying? So like those are people that no matter what, people are gonna remember. And like you're saying the average person's not gonna know him or whatever, but you're saying like he's gonna be a top 5 offensive player like ever. And like how he changed the game with the step backs now, and you see all these younger players doing step backs and changing the game and Euro steps. And like he has his own thing with his beard, and now what he's doing with all these triple doubles and stuff, like he just keeps breaking records. Like there's nothing that's going to change, you feel me?
I feel like that's not... Because, like, realistically, Westbrook puts up triple-doubles. Westbrook has had crazy stat line. He has literally averaged a triple-double. You think Westbrook's going to be remembered by 15, 20 years from now?
No.
Exactly.
But I think that's different.
What's so different?
Because, like, with James Harden, like, I feel like he is going to get a ring with the Nets. That's number one. He has that MVP. I know Westbrook has MVP. The only thing I think that will help Westbrook, like, ever become remembered is that he averaged a triple-double in a year, because that was, like, never really done. But, like, with Westbrook, it's not like he had those couple years where he was crazy explosive and he was crazy, but that's it. James Harden's been doing this 7, 8, 9, 10 years, you know, and he's just going to keep doing it. And he did change the game with the step back, I'm telling you. Like, that's something that you're not acknowledging.
I Like, because it's not like he's the only person to do a step back. Like, yet his step back's lethal, and like he does a different type of step back. He damn near travels, so that's why it's such a like, oh my god, look at him, and it's a meme. It became a meme. But other than like, and it's not even like he created the step back. If he created the step back, then okay. But this overall, the step back has just became a part of the game in general. Like Curry does a step back. And like everyone does a step back at this point.
It's not like what he does. Like he does it. He could do it every single play. You know he's doing it, and you can't stop him. You see what I'm saying? Like Curry, he has everything in his bag that like he'll pull out the step back once in a while. You feel me? James Harden will literally just come up to you and do 3 different types of step backs or whatever you got to do, and hand in the face and one, it doesn't matter, and he's still doing it. Like that's what he's known for, and like he has every single type of step back there is. You see him in the games and the New York runs and stuff that they have, the pickup games, and he's doing step backs off one leg and stuff. Like there's no one in the league that's doing what James Harden's doing.
Okay, step back off one leg, that is pretty crazy. I know exactly which one you're talking about. But stuff like that, there's been multiple players who have done more exciting things, and they were the first person to do it, and they still don't get remembered. Like, for example, I don't remember who was the first person to do the honey dip with their elbow. Bro, that's some crazy stuff, to be able to dunk and put your whole elbow in the rim, and we don't even remember who that is. Like, do you know who was the first person to do that? That's my point exactly.
What, someone's going to honey dip every play? Like, no, that doesn't happen, bro. Like, that does not happen. James Harden's changed the game. There's young kids out there that are watching film, and you know who they're watching and learn to step back? James Harden. They're not watching Paul Pierce. No, they're not watching these people.
They're watching Curry.
No, bro. Curry does not have a step back game like James Harden does. If you're an elite
step back game
player,
is better, but I'm just saying, there's nothing, to me, there's nothing about Harden that will make him leave a mark other than his scoring. In his scoring, like, yes, there is other players who have done, I'm not going to say the same thing, but there's other players who have been top scorers in the league for their period of time who aren't remembered.
Name one player that averaged 36 besides Jordan and the people before Jordan. No one.
That's what I'm saying.
No one.
Okay, yes, he put up numbers, but I promise you there's going to be someone who's going to beat that, and we're not going to, and James Harden's going to fall down in that list, and someone else is going to go up in that list. And that's going to cause for James Harden to be less and less remembered. Like, people are going to get better, and people are going to put up more and more numbers. You have to think about that, too. You're just thinking about the numbers of the present time at this time.
Because I don't see that happening, because look at James Harden. Look at the last time, right? We had Will, that was way in the past, and he scored 100. That's why Will, it's never going to be, forgotten. Like, that was just different. Then you had Jordan, right? Averaging 37 a couple times. And, like, then you had Kobe, who averaged, I think the most was 35, right? And then since then, it was James Harden, averaging 36. He had every single type of defense on him that 1 year. He was averaging 36. Chris Paul was out. Clint Capella was hurt. And Eric Gordon was hurt. You see what I'm saying? James Harden was doing it. He had people guarding from behind him. He had double teams, triple teams, late double teams in the shot clock. And then he was still scoring at the rim. Free throw rate was crazy. And he drew fouls, and he was hitting crazy step-back threes. See what I'm saying?
I feel like that's really his only thing, though, is that 36 points per game. Other than that, there's no true, I'm not trying to say impact, because yes, he has an impact on the game. There's no true, dent that he's really leaving. Because realistically, that's just a stat that people are, you may remember, but the average person is not caring about some 36 points per game. The average person does not care about 36 points per game. The average person is caring about, when I turn on TV, do I like watching this player? Is this player entertaining? Or is this player a big name? And I feel like James Harden is not a big enough name. And I feel like players, for example, I'm going to give you, the list of players who I feel like are actually going to be remembered of current time now. LeBron, Steph, KD. And I feel like KD's a little iffy, too. I feel like there's a slight chance KD might not even be remembered. Yes, he's a demigod. He's 7 foot. Nobody can't guard him. But at the same time, he might just be remembered as a 7 foot player who's just a demigod. But there's other people like that who are just nice. And in their period of time, they were hyped up. Oh my God, there's never been a player like this. But at the same time, there's always going to be someone who's going to become better than that within the next generation. It's going to happen. It's just evolution. It happens. So I feel like there's always going to be someone who's going to get to that next level and just beat them at what they're best at. And it's gonna, they're going to get older one day, and they're going to become past time.
I don't know, because, especially if James Harden, does say that he retires, right? I feel like a big thing is what he does after the NBA. Because you see, Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith, and Shaq on TNT, and then Dwayne Wade's on TNT. So people, know, and they hear these names, and they become memes, and they're still known after the NBA. But, James Harden right now, he's hanging around rappers, so people that don't really watch basketball, but then you see these rappers like, oh, who's this guy hanging with him? And they know who he is. You see what I'm saying? He also owns like a restaurant in Houston and stuff, and like he's donated a lot of money and stuff and like helped out. So he's gonna be known like by the average person because of the other stuff that he does. Also, he's in with Adidas. He has a signature shoe. People that shop with Adidas, they see, oh, James Harden merch and stuff. And then like all the commercials he does, he's just becoming more known. You know, he's such a well-known player.
Okay, based on all the things you said, the rapper maybe. The rappers, that's just current time thing. Like, there's been multiple things that people have done with rappers. Like, for example, boxers coming out with rappers coming out to their songs. Like, that's stuff that happens. But, like, those people aren't necessarily remembered. Another thing is, like you said, the commercials, that's just present time. People are not gonna be watching commercials from the past 15, 20 years from now. Like, that doesn't matter. And the Adidas deal, his shoes aren't fire. Like, he has some clean colorways, but his shoes aren't fire, so his shoes aren't gonna be remembered. Like, there's no true debt that he's leaving other than them 36 points and him being a true bucket. If you're a basketball head, you know James Harden was a true bucket. But other than that, there's nothing for like the average person for them to really grasp on.
His beard, bro.
Bro, you know how many people have beards,
not like James Harden. No one in the league. No one in the league. You know, like saying Anthony Davis in his unibrow. People go, oh, the unibrow. Oh, Anthony Davis. James Harden, the beard. Oh, you're talking about James Harden. You see what I'm saying? Like, when Anthony Davis, like, I'm pretty sure became well-known, like, not even as an NBA player or, like, on April Fools or whatever, he was acting like he was shaving his unibrow and stuff. He's like, April Fools, and he actually did it and stuff. Like, even as a non-basketball player, like, it was funny, and he's known for that. Like, James Harden, like, same thing, like, with his beard, and, like, he's known for that, and, like, also his defense. Remember, like, that 1 year or a couple years, he wasn't that good of a defensive player, especially off the ball, and there would be so many memes about him. James Harden just has so many memes and everything. Like, he's gonna become known no matter what, especially as an offensive player. And like the step back thing to me is the biggest thing about it. Like, I think like it's like Dirk's fadeaway. You know?
No,
it is like
Dirk's fadeaway.
Kareem's sky hook, James Harden's step back, Curry's 3-point shooting ability, LeBron's strength, Mamba mentality, Kobe. You see, like all that stuff just balances out. Like, he's changed the game, really. He has. Like, the amount of threes he takes, the way he sees the game, like, for sure. He's leaving an impact on the game no matter what. Like, I feel like people now don't really appreciate his game because they say, oh, like, he gets fouled so much, that's where he gets all his points. But if you look at people that really score, like, 40, like, on a basic night, like Joel Embiid, Curry, Giannis, they all have 10-plus free throws a night. Like, that's just part of the game. And, like, with James Harden, when he drives in, like, yeah, he does extend his arms, but he gets hella and ones, and people are reaching. Like, at the end of the day, he's getting fouled. You see what I'm saying?
I don't know. I feel like it's really debatable. So who else do you think in the league is going to be remembered?
In the league right now?
Yeah.
I got LeBron, KD, Curry, Harden.
See, that doesn't even make any sense. Why do you have Harden in there?
Because he's changed the game.
Why do you have Harden in there over Giannis? I feel like Giannis, more people know Giannis than more people know Harden. I feel like it's debatable, but I feel like damn near. Like, Giannis is a big name. And especially from him being Greek, he's tall, long, dunking, and, like, he's just a highlight. People just love Giannis.
Because it's for me, for me right now, it's too early for Giannis. See what I'm saying? It's 3 years. 3 years, that's it.
That's it.
James Harden's been doing
already
10 years. And he's 32. Ever since he went to Houston.
Look. That's another thing too. Ever since he went to Houston, those years before, he was like, yes, people knew who James Harden was, but it was like 6-man. He was nice.
But also a big thing is region. You know, like, since James Harden's been on 3 teams, people in those region, like, even as an average person, have heard that name before. People in OKC, maybe not so much because James Harden was not that big. Like, the average person will know who Russell Westbrook is because he's probably talked about so much. Same with KD and stuff. But, like, James Harden in Houston, I guarantee if you go up to any, like, average person in Houston, they know who J.G. Watt is, they know who James Harden is. And now James Harden going to Brooklyn, people in that region are going to remember because his name's going to be around no matter what. You're talking about sports or not.
I feel you. Okay, then do you think, like, I need you to tell me, because, like, you need to give me other names other than, because it's not making sense to me how you have Harden in there, but not, like, Giannis.
He's changed the game. Giannis, I say it's too early, but a big thing, like you said, is Giannis being from Greek, you know, like, having that Greek fan base and the Olympics and all that stuff. Like that's another big thing. Olympics, like worldwide stuff, and how America usually always dominates and they get the gold and stuff. And then you see the people win it, and like that's worldwide. The people are gonna hear about that and see who's on it. And then look, you're gonna see, who's that guy with the beard? James Harden. You feel me? Like he stands out, bro. Like that's what it is.
I feel like it's really debatable because at this point, I'm not gonna say Team USA has been pooped, but like the stars aren't even sliding to Team USA no more.
I think you're talking about FIBA, because that's different from Olympics. I'm talking about the Olympics, like every 4 years, and they have like the 2018 with Darren Williams, Chris Bosh, LeBron, D Wade, and then 1996, I believe. Yeah, 1996 Dream Team. You feel me? Like those people are known. Like Larry Bird, I'm pretty sure Bird is well known by the average person.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's debatable because like you realistically feel like you go up to the average person down the street, you're gonna know who Larry Bird is. That's what you shouldn't.
How many out of 10? You feel me? Like out of 10 people.
I feel like you might get like 4 out of 10.
And we're saying
Larry
what?
Bird.
5 is good.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, and it shouldn't be like that because you feel like Larry Bird's better than James Harden. Be real. Larry, exactly. So why that doesn't like it does not make sense.
Well, I think James Harden's better, so he's gonna be more well known.
You think James Harden's better than Larry Bird?
That's because we're in the present. I haven't seen too much Bird film, so I know I'm gonna get hate for that. But like, you feel me? But like,
But that's what I'm saying.
Now I feel like with all the commercials and televised, and I feel like people today just know more about sports than back then. Like I feel like back then it wasn't the same. Like that's why we don't really talk about Bill Russell, Will, and stuff. Even with stuff today and the competition today and how the game's evolved and everything, that's why it's different. Like James Harden literally is changing the game right now, and people don't even know.
Okay, but I'm still talking about people like Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas was nice, calling ISOs damn near every play.
But what is he known for?
I just told you.
ISOs. Okay, what about ISO Joe?
He literally
Joe
did
Johnson.
the same. No, it was different though. Like he was literally cooking people. He literally dropped 60 on Kobe. Like he was cooking people. So like him literally calling ISOs and cooking people. He used to call it 1-4 flat. Just like how you say how Harden literally cooks people on every possession and he does his step back. Gilbert Arenas was doing the same thing and he was doing the little shoot a shot, turn around and celebrate before Curry was even doing it. So it's like people were doing things like that and Gilbert Arenas is barely remembered. You're telling me kids aren't going to remember someone shooting up a shot for a game winner, turning around, opening up their arms? You telling me people aren't going to remember that?
The reason no is because it's happening more often.
No, but it wasn't happening then. No one was doing it then, and we barely remember it now. Now Curry's doing it, and we're celebrating Curry. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
But Curry's doing it at a different rate, you feel me? Like Curry's changed the game with his 3 points.
Yes, but I'm saying he hit it for a game winner. Curry's done it for a game winner, but we talk about Curry. That's my point. So when someone else puts up numbers like Harden's doing, we're going to be talking about that other player. We're not going to be talking about Harden.
Curry's gonna go down in history.
Yes.
Gilbert Arenas is not.
Okay, but Gilbert Arenas is still nice, though. That's
He's nice, yeah, but he's
still nice.
He's not
and
gonna be remembered for that. That's not that big of a thing.
He had like a skill. He had a thing that you're saying, like James Harden's step back. He had like his little thing that he would do, and people were still gonna see it and remember it. So it's like it's little things like that, and he was still putting up numbers, and he was still dropping people off, and he was still ISOing, cooking people off. Another person is Danny Granger. Danny Granger was nice, holding down the Pacers before Paul George. Another person, Grant Hill. Grant Hill was nice in college and in the NBA, putting up numbers. And these are people who are nice, and you barely even hear about them today. Barely. T-Mac. T-Mac's sort of kind of known, but the average person probably won't know who T-Mac is. And T-Mac is still pretty current. Not current, but it was still in the 2000s. So it's like people like that are still putting up numbers, and we don't even remember them people now. We barely do. So it's like, what makes you think Harden's going to be such a big name 15, 20 years ago?
Because when you look at T-Mac and all those players, like their game was for that time. See what I'm saying? That's how the game was. Like today, you don't see too much of their game in today's game. You know, besides maybe like D-Book, like Devin Booker has kind of their game and stuff. But I'm telling you, how the game is going. You see Luka Doncic, right? What is he doing right now? He's doing the same thing that James Harden's doing. ISOing at the top, step back 3, just hit the game winner today. See what I'm talking about? Like, he's doing the same thing. That's what's happening. Trae Young, step back. Curry, step back. All these people, like, and all the different variations James Harden has. And that's where the game is going. Like, to get separation in the NBA today is super hard. And the best way to do it right now is by doing step backs. You see almost every play. Damian Lillard, sidestep on Paul George for a game winner. Sidestep, step back. James Harden, really the one that has everything. And at the end of the day, people are going to be studying him and studying his film. How to beat all these type of defenses. How to get around. Like, that's the reason. That's where the game is really going. You know? T-Mac, all them, they had cool accomplishments and stuff. But they didn't have something that kept going along with the game. You see what I'm talking about? Vince Carter did, kind of, because Vince Carter had all his dunks and stuff, and he's always going to be remembered for that. T-Mac, yeah, he's a crazy offensive weapon, but he just didn't have that one thing that everyone's going to be like, oh, T-Mac had this, he's known for this, and everything. Like, that's just not how it is.
I just feel like James Harden that step back. It's not, like, I feel like, yes, but...
And his offensive game, like, the way that he could just do it and average 36, like, I think a person that, like, you could counter me with is Elgin Baylor, but he's way in the past. You feel me? Like, Elgin Baylor averaged 38. No one talks about him. No one. And the only reason I know about him is because since James Harden was breaking the records, he was up there with the records.
But you see what you literally just proved my point perfectly. How when someone else does it, you see him up there, and you're like, oh, snap, I see that person. I've seen that name before. Just like how you said, you've seen Elgin Baylor before. You know who he is. But you celebrate the other person in the current time who's breaking the record. That's exactly how it's going to be. There's going to be someone who's going to come up behind James Harden, do the same thing as James Harden. Because it's not like that step back is so... And I'm not going to say anyone can do it, but there's a lot of other players. You listed a whole bunch of other players who do the step back as well. And people are going to rather watch Curry's game over Harden's game. Some people might even watch Trae Young's game over Harden's game. Like, it's just more of a electrifying, more of a... You're going to get more hype to it. So it's like the average person is going to easily pick Curry over Harden.
Yeah, but that's why I still have Curry going down. You feel me? I think James Harden's going to still go down with it because, like, back then, like, no one knew what Elgin Baylor was doing. You feel me? Like, I didn't know how he scored. I didn't know, like, what he was. And that's way back when, like, I feel like the NBA wasn't really, like, that much talked about. I feel like the NBA really got, like, going when Jordan got to the league and everything, and that's when everything started booming. So, like, that's why I think he's kind of out of the picture with it, and people don't really talk about it. Like, when his picture comes up, on the history thing, I think it's in black and white. You feel me? Like, that don't count. You see what I'm talking about? So, like, today with James Harden and everything, like, it's just going to keep going. But how long are you talking about? Are you talking about 20 years in the future, 30 years in the future? Because, like, in that case, like, I only think only LeBron and Curry in today's league will be remembered. If it's that far ahead. But I'm talking about next 10, 20 years, I think James Harden will still be in it.
Like, I feel like it's going to be like, I feel like, okay, if so, I'm talking about like 10, 15, 20. I'm talking about like around that range. And I feel like if so, if you go up to the average person, I feel like best you're going to get is a 5 out of 10. Like, realistically. I feel like if you go to 10 people, best you're going to get is a 5 out of 10. And that shouldn't be the case. That shouldn't be. I feel like if you're as nice as the way you're making it seem like Harden is.
You know he's nice like that.
Yes, he's nice.
Dropping triple doubles nightly.
He's not going to be remembered, bro. Like, he's not going to, like, it's going to be like, It's like, oh, you know who Harden is? Oh, I've heard that before.
Yeah, he's going to be like that.
Like, maybe. Like, he may get oh, I've heard that before. But it's not going to be like... And, like, bro, if I'm in the league, I don't want that. I want to be remembered. I just feel like he's not going to be remembered.
So how many people since the, let's go, 1990s, do you think...
Oh, bro, chill out.
Do you think I'm going to remember?
Chill out.
But you know that.
I'm going to say current people in our league right now. Or like, maybe past couple of years. Like, recently, I feel like heads who are going to be remembered is probably... LeBron, Steph, KD, Kobe, AI, and AI is even debatable too. Like, AI is really, like, yes, he's nice and he's live and we love him now, but he barely gets talked about.
But he changed the culture.
Yeah, he changed the culture. Like, he did all his stuff, but I feel like 10 years from now, I feel like he's barely gonna be talked about. It's gonna be tough, or is this the way it is? And another person, I'm trying to think who else. Shaq, yeah. And I feel like that's damn near might be.
No, Shaq is not debatable.
No. I'm saying Shaq, yeah. But I'm saying I'm trying to think of any other people who are like really, really.
Well, like Jordan. Well, yeah, I could throw in. Yeah. I could even throw in, like, I know it's past, but like Charles Barkley.
And I feel like Charles Barkley only remembered because he's on TNT.
But that's a big thing. You see what I'm saying? Like, what they do after the commercials, like, if they're still continuing it being in movies and stuff, like Blake Griffin's in movies. People know him as an actor and stuff. Like, Boban will probably be remembered, too. He wants to be an actor, and he's damn near 7'6". Same with Taco Fall. You see what I'm saying? Like, because people at the end of the day are going to search up, oh, who's the tallest guy in the NBA? And they're going to come up.
But I feel like Harden doesn't even really do that like that. He's not really doing commercials and, like...
I think he's in a lot of stuff, actually.
I don't know. I feel like it's really iffy. I feel like there's only a very few who get remembered, bro. There's really only very few who get remembered. I feel like Harden, if he cracks it, he might just slide up in there. But I feel like it's very few. Like, for example, D-Rose, bro. D Rose in his prime. Who you taking? D Rose in his prime or Harden?
If D Rose never got hurt, I think D Rose could potentially be the greatest point guard of all time.
That's what I'm saying. So like you have that type of energy towards D Rose, bro. D Rose is still in the league. We barely even talk about him.
And his prime was like 2-3 years. You feel me? 4 years. He got his MVP, youngest MVP, and then after that he got hurt, and now he's known as an injury-prone player. If he was to be able to do that for 8 to 10 years, yeah, I think he would be remembered forever.
Okay, and let's keep it real with Harden now. We didn't even talk about this now. When he was with the Rockets, he was putting up them numbers. Now that he's with the Nets, his numbers are gonna fall off. His numbers are gonna drop off. All his stuff is gonna drop off. Stuff's gonna fall off.
Have you been watching that?
Yes, I'm saying he's putting up. That's because KD's not into.
Yeah, but like when they're all together, he still averages realistically 25, 10, and 11.
25, 10, and 11? Nah.
He's averaging since eight rebounds. 8 rebounds.
You're reminding with the. You're reminding. What? Harden?
25, 8, and 11.
Yeah, maybe.
That's damn near a triple double.
We'll see. I just feel like his stuff's gonna drop.
And like what he's doing without them, like KD's out, right? Kyrie's out. They play the Suns, 24 point comeback. James Harden, 37, hits clutch dagger, ends the game. You feel me? Now it's just him and Kyrie putting up 29, 30 point triple doubles on a nightly basis. Like that's what he does. Like I feel like people just don't appreciate his game. Like that's what it really comes down to. People aren't appreciating his game, and like especially as a basketball player, and understand like when to attack, how to get around a player, change his speed, drawing fouls, when to shoot, and like passing the ball. And his IQ is just like people really don't appreciate it. Like James Harden's like offensive mind is to me is top 5 all time.
Yeah, I feel that, but that's for a basketball player. You feel me? That's for the basketball mind. I feel like I'm talking about the average person. The average person is not gonna be looking into all that. Not gonna know all that.
But I see what you're saying because like when I think about other sports, you know, like personally I'm not big with other sports. So like when it comes to soccer, the only people I really know are Messi, Ronaldo, and like Pele from back then. You feel me? Like
perfect example. Like baseball players, bro. We probably cannot name 5 baseball players. Like we cannot name 5 baseball players.
Derek Jeter, Jackie Robinson,
Alex Rodriguez.
You got me there. You feel me?
Like, there's very few, bro. There's very few that remember. That's what I'm saying. There's very few people that get remembered. And another example is like, did we say soccer?
Yeah.
We said soccer, hockey. We don't know any hockey players. Like there's so many sports out there that if you don't pay attention to them, you won't really know the main players. And realistically, we barely even really know those players. Like, we don't know their stats. And like I'm saying, you're blaming up all these stats.
But you know what they're known for. You feel me? Like Derek Jeter, I think like he was a good. I think he was a good pitcher. You feel me? Or something like. I don't know. I just know he was fine. You feel me? Like. But like Messi is like super skilled, and then like Ronaldo got a boot. You feel me? Like you just know what they're known for. Like Curry's known for his 3-point shot. LeBron's known because the man's like 40 years old balling. James Harden known for his step back, Mamba mentality, Shaq's dominance. You know, like they're all known